The NBA is very exciting around this time, and I will make sure everybody that's watching basketball has a full explanation on how the play-in works and how teams could potentially sneak into the playoffs, deep playoffs, and to the official playoffs. What's up, family? It's Stunna back with another video. Hopefully everybody's doing great and well. Like you guys know, if you do not know or don't know, make sure you guys tune into my last video. And as you can see right now, I'm feeling good. I got the white t-shirt on, got some shorts on, you feel me? And really feel good. I'm in the New Jersey weather, you feel me? So if you guys don't know already, I'm in New Jersey, and the weather is really bipolar, And I want to say this week is probably the best lined up week of great weather that we have. Today's actually 70. Yesterday was actually like 75, 76, and it felt good. For some reason, winter stretched so long from like October to like March. It feels crazy long, but yeah, we're getting to that point where we're feeling good, back in action, coming back to react to a video. But I really just want to thank you guys. I'm back in the flow state, and that's the biggest thing that I'm really happy and grateful for, being in the flow state. If you don't know what a flow state is, it's pretty much, I'll give you my example, and I'll put the definition right here. Pretty much, where you're focusing consistently and persistently on an activity or hobby. I say that's productive for the future. Not the future as in the future, but your future. You know what I'm saying? So this, I feel like, is something that pertains to a flow state, because I could do this on a constant, consistent, persistent basis, and I actually have fun doing it. So it's not forced. But that's, you feel me? That's what I want to get to, and that's what we're gonna do. Thank you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and excuse my roughness. If you don't like the haircut, you feel me, you could just, not haircut, if you don't like the way the hair look right now, just excuse me, respectfully. I'm an overthinker, I overthink a lot about every situation, which you're supposed to, but I don't know whether I want to braid this hair or get it curled. You probably looking at his hair like, yo, you got some nappy hair. Don't play with me like that. I don't have no nappy hair, you feel me? I just gotta get a cut, and it's curly. It's definitely curly. I know you probably hear a lot of black people be like, oh, my hair curly, it look nappy and shit. Nah, this is curly. This is curly. You see that person? This is curly. Nah, this is curly. Let you guys know, it's actually April 13th. It's actually the day after the Cavs versus the Nets played, and the Clippers and the Timberwolves played. And I'm really surprised. That last year I didn't know exactly. Last year, and it's still this year, while the play-in tournament is still going on, I don't know fully how it works, because this is implemented. This is the third season or 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, and this is a whole new way, or another tournament added on to the play-in for the lower tier teams that's in the seeds beneath the 8th seed, which is the 9th and 10th seeds. So they have a whole new system. They're coming up with new stuff, which is, the NBA is very innovative, very creative, which they have to be, because they have a whole large fan base, which is myself. And I know the NBA is probably gonna come up with some more. I believe they're rumored to come out with some more tournaments, the regular season tournaments, in between the season, I guess. So I feel like that's gonna be something big and probably have to go over as a family, as a community, on this YouTube, where we know about all the tournaments they'll be implementing in, where it makes the game fun and competitive for everybody, because this regular season is very long, and a lot of people don't watch, in any sport, a lot of people don't watch the regular season as much as they do the playoffs, which makes sense. All right, guys, pull out your notebooks. You about to really get started. You about to learn and get educated on how the play-in tournament works. So take out your notebooks. And this is Malika Andrews from ESPN breaking down how the play-in tournament works. This is 12 days ago, so this is a very recent video, and this is somebody that's around the same sport, so she's very knowledgeable.
Pause just real quick and explain exactly what the play-in tournament is. So teams seeded 7 through 10 in each conference, they make the tournament. The 7 seed will play the 8 seed, and the winner of that game advances to the playoffs as the 7 seed. But The loser of that game, they do live to play another day. They play the winner of the 9-10 matchup for the right to be the 8th seed in the playoffs. Are you with me? All right, it means that basically 2 teams move on, 2 teams go home. There is no tighter race than the Western Conference, where the Pelicans, Spurs, and Lakers are all separated by just 1.5 games for the final 2 spots. I was playing with this a little bit before, but let me show you what I mean. All right, the Timberwolves, they're currently the 7th seed. Remember, we talked about that. The 7-8 game and the 9-10 game.
All right, so the 7 plays the 8. That's where the Timberwolves play the Clippers. So if the Timberwolves win, then they go into the playoffs. That's the same thing for the Eastern Conference. So when the Nets won, they're going to the playoffs. They're the 7th seed versus the 8th seed, which is the Cavs. They're going to be in the playoffs.
They trail the Jazz by just 2.5 games. But take a look at this. 2nd easiest remaining schedule in the NBA. So might they have a chance to move up to that 6th seed and out of the play-in? Maybe. But the Jazz, they have the easiest remaining schedule.
Don't forget, guys, this is 12 days ago. This is April 13th. This video was done on March 31st. So they still have a couple more games left until the season ends. So don't get confused at all. We're in present day, April 13th. This video probably not coming out probably till like another 3-4 days. But anyway, don't forget this happened before.
In the NBA. So let's talk about the Spurs. Let's talk about the Lakers. Those two teams we were just chatting about. The Lakers, currently the 10th seed. The Spurs, the 11th seed. But they're separated by just a half a game. So the Spurs, you can see here, 11th easiest remaining schedule in the league versus the Lakers. That's who they're flip-flopping with, right?
I don't get how they say, like, how this team is easier to beat. Like, obviously you got the low-tier teams, which is what the Rockets are low-team tier, Pistons, and who else? It's a bunch of teams out here. It's many teams now I can't think of. Those are teams that be the easiest to beat, like the Rockets, and be having Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. dropping 20, 25, 30 each, you feel me, on the team, and they be losing. So I get, you feel me, you could say the second easiest, stuff like that, but at the same time, it's like the Lakers could have beat all these teams. They had the hardest schedule, but they could have beat all these teams at the same time. Obviously, with the climate and the situation the Lakers are in, yeah, they didn't beat them. And obviously, it amounts to that result. But at the same time, you can't say they have the hardest schedule when they losing by 3-4 points, you feel me, or by 5 points. Like, that's not, you feel me, that's nothing. If you get blown out, it's different. You get what I'm saying? If you agree with me, just let me know. You feel me? Because maybe I'm tripping. But the way I see it, I don't think any team has an easiest schedule unless they're already placed and locked in like 10 games, 15 games ahead in their first seed. So I explained this, so this really has to do with, let's go back. So this really has to do the 7 versus 8. 7 and 8, which is, let me actually see right now. Hold on. Let me check this out, guys. Hold on. All right. So this wants to load real quick. This wants to load real quick. We can see it and do it by ourselves. Pretty much. That's pretty much the goal. But we kind of make it make sense. You get what I'm saying? We're just gonna refer back to the video and to the standings. My connection is really slow right now. I think really super duper slow. All right, so the 7 to 8. Winner becomes 7th seed. Okay, I thought it becomes 6, but it can't do that. It's impossible. So the loser faces winner of 9 versus 10. 9 versus 10, winner faces 7 versus 8 for 8th seed. So pretty much, it was originally 10 teams. It's really 10 teams. Then the play-in is going to eliminate 2. So now it's going to be 8 teams in each conference. That's what it's looking like. All right, so now here we go. So let me put this on. All right, it's conference. All right, so we got 7-8. Okay, this makes sense. All right, so we have Brooklyn versus the Cavs, right? The Nets won, so the Nets are gonna move. The Nets are gonna stay exactly there. But now the 8th seed, which is Cavs that lost, is gonna face the loser. Winner faces. Okay. So 9 and 10 today is April 13th. So the Hawks versus the Hornets. Whoever win that game play the Cavs. Okay, that makes sense. Does it make sense for you guys? You feel me? Does it make sense for you guys? So let's do another example. For the Western Conference, now you got 7 and 8. So the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Clippers played last night. So this is April 13th. Don't forget, it's April 13th. So yesterday they played last night. The Timberwolves won. So you have the Timberwolves in the 7th spot, and you had the Clippers and the Clippers since they lost. The Clippers are now gonna face whoever wins the Pelicans and the Spurs. So whoever wins the Pelicans Spurs game is gonna play the Clippers. But Minnesota is gonna play. So who did Minnesota play again? The winner become the 7th seed. Okay. Loser faces winner of versus. Okay. Winner faces. Okay. So now you have. So the 7th is going to play whoever wins So if the Pelicans win, now they're going to play the Timberwolves. And now the loser is going to play the loser of basically, from me, the 9th and 10th. That's how it's going to go. That makes sense. All right, so all in all, I understand the play-on tournament completely. That was a nice 1 minute and 50-second video, and I'm pretty much gonna dive in on. I want to dive in on these games, right? Real quick. I'm not gonna take long at all. We got to have a great, wonderful day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning right now, so right now my energy is at all-time high. So hopefully everybody's vibrating at the same vibration I am. But last night both games were very competitive. You had KD at 25 points, 11 assists, assists is going crazy because he has so many assets on the floor with him that could do everything on the floor, defend, except Kyrie. Kyrie is a defensive liability, as well as Stephen Curry could defend, but offensively, it's inconsistent. He's like a J.R. Smith, you know what I'm saying? Not comparing to J.R. Smith, but shooting-wise, you know what I'm saying? J.R. Smith get hot, blazing hot, just like Curry. Curry brothers, they both get hot, but inconsistent at times. Stephen Curry is much more consistent, but you have Seth Curry, that's not that consistent. I wouldn't put my money on him at all. He did not show up for this playoff game. He wasn't ready. I never felt, even on the Sixers, I never felt that he was a main contributor to that team. And that's why it was, people thought people thought he was a main, not main, but people thought he was a knockdown shooter. People thought he was 3 and D. He's just a D. Pause. He's just a D. You got to do better. Truthfully, you got to pick it up. Because when you go deep into the playoffs, you got to knock down these shots, and you're bugging right now. Truthfully, and they got you in a package deal, and I think the Sixers already knew this. They already knew this completely. But Kyrie went crazy on Ramadan's going on right now. And then you got Kevin Durant. Those are two main people on his team. Then you got Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons is very, very, very important to his team. But at the same time, you don't want to mess up the chemistry in this particular part of the season. Especially, it's kind of risky. I want to see Ben Simmons play, for sure. For sure, I want to see him play. But at the same time, it's a gamble. Because you don't know if it's going to mess up the team. Even though Ben Simmons isn't the person to score a lot. He's a facilitator. He's a big facilitator, point guard. I feel as if he plays, it could be a positive impact, obviously. But also, just like any team. You throw somebody in the mix and they haven't been there in a while and they haven't been on the floor with you and playing any regular season games. How are you gonna put somebody in the game and they haven't played? And plus, Ben Simmons hasn't played a minute, and now it's the playoff time. So now you're putting a lot more weight on his shoulders, and as well as the other players, because now you have to force the relationship on the chemistry, could be a good thing. It could become a very positive thing. I don't like to look at things in a negative way. Look at it in a positive way. It could actually embrace Ben's role, because they wanted him for a reason, and he's a defensive asset to them. Ben Simmons has defense. He can rebound. He can assist the ball. He can definitely score inside the paint. And the jumper, I believe it's there. I think it's just a topic that he can't shoot because I guess he doesn't shoot. He's just like DeMar. DeMar can attack everywhere by the three-point line. He's not a good three-point shooter. He doesn't shoot the three a lot. So like the Lakers really lost out on getting an opportunity. But regardless of the fact, this game was a great game. Darius Garland played a wonderful, wonderful game as usual, showing up for his team and showing out for Cleveland. And I really mess with him. I feel like when LeBron retires, I'm gonna have to pick out another favorite player of mine. I feel like it's gonna be one of these young cats, one of these people, one of these younger younger Ben that's playing basketball right now that's showing out, and I feel like that's him. 34 points, 3 3-pointers, like went crazy. 2 steals, 5 assists. His assists were low. His rebounds was low, but his rebounds were really not worried about him. The assists, he usually tackles that really double digits, really. And then you got 2 offensive, 2 vets on the team, the Cavs. So you got a lot of firepower and wit and wisdom on that team. So I felt as if I was really rooting for the Cavs to win, but at the same time, I'm really rooting for the Nets. I feel like this Cavs team has a lot of potential in the future. I feel like this need to add one more pieces. Just, give them some more time. Which is the Clippers, and the Timberwolves. And when I was looking at this game, I was really anticipating the Clippers to come out to win. And they only lost by 5, which is not a bad margin at all. They didn't get blown out. It's a good thing. I knew Paul George was going to come to play, but I didn't think Pat Bev was going to have I didn't think he was going to have a tip on his shoulder at all. Obviously, he comes with that rowdiness, but I guess this was a very important game. I didn't know until after, and that's the way he was acting is very, very crazy. It's funny, and a lot of NBA players reacting off of that. But let's just talk about the Clippers game. I feel like they played a great game. They have a great depth within the lineup. But obviously, it is what it is. You feel me? Paul George went out, didn't play all the season. Came back. I think he was going to say this was his 10th game back, or even less. But he went out crazy, 34, 7 and 5, and everybody else in the team played really great ball. Clippers are a defensive team, so I felt as if they just played a real great game. All in all, from both sides. Even though they lost from both sides, I respect it. When Kawhi comes back, that's the X factor. Paul George really put his touch on the game and really impacted the game as much as he can. And I feel like that's the playoff P. You feel me? That's playoff P right there. And he's been like this since Indiana, so it's nothing new. I know exactly how he be coming. And Reggie Jackson is just up and down. He had 17 points, just okay. But, yeah, you definitely going to get somebody. You got Kawhi. So when Kawhi comes back, everything is fine. Now, Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm going to talk about the refs. Refs in general is very bipolar in all game types. So it's very, very weird and very hard to judge a game. Well, it's not hard to judge a game, but it's very hard to watch a game that feels very biased. The refs sometimes have biases on what teams does what. And the Timberwolves came out to win regardless of Cat playing or not, which is Karl Anthony Towns. Cat fouled out, had many fouls, and I tuned into the game just seeing some of the calls they were making. I felt they were unfair, but at the same time, it is what it is. It's part of the game. And you see many players that went down in specific games like Draymond that missed a game and they lost the whole entire finals. And you have to be aware, obviously, of what's going on in the game and how to, adjust. That's the biggest thing. And I'm only talking from somebody that's watching the game. I play basketball myself, but I don't play on that stage at all. So I don't know exactly. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like, you feel me, I played for All-American McDonald's team. Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and play that, but I'm just giving my perspective and opinion. Just seeing how he adjusted. He ended off with 11 points. Crazy with the amount of time he was on the court. And how much they were stopping and affecting him. And then you had Edwards going crazy, 30 points. And I feel like he's going to be a big player in this league. He might be it's hard. It's hard to say who's going to be a face in the league. It's pretty much going to be decided now. You got Trey. You got Trey. You got Anthony Edwards. You got Darius Garland. You got Ja Morant. You got Giannis. You got all these players that play in a hot Kevin Durant, I want to say Kyrie. You got all these players that's top of the league that could be a face of the league once LeBron is out. Even though LeBron's not in the playoffs, he's still the face of the league. I don't want to argue and I don't debate about this because it is in its final. All in all, I felt the boost really came for Pat Bev, and it's not going to show on the stat wise. As they always say it's not going to show on the stats, but he played a wonderful game in and out off of this aggressive nature that he has with the game, and how his story is deep. And I want to actually watch a video about how he grew up, because the way his fierce competitiveness and how he carries himself is crazy. And D'Angelo Russell is another player that stepped up this game as well. 29 points, and he's been quiet scoring wise. He can assist the ball very well. And he just played an all-around great game, and they needed him for sure last night. For sure, they needed him last night, and he came through. And that's how ice in the vein. And I feel as if in the next year, I don't think Minnesota Timberwolves not going to make it far at all. But I feel as if it's an accomplishment for Pat Bev in this situation, playing against his former team that traded him off as he was there, and really producing a lot for that organization that traded on him, which is very crazy. They have a lot of good talent, and I would give them a couple years. I'll probably give them 2 years to get to that point. They have a lot of good shooters. They have a lot of good defense. They have a lot of good defensive players. A lot of stretch bigs. A lot of big players that can stretch the floor. And this Timberwolves team could be something in the future. But obviously they're a lower team of teams. That's why they're playing. But yeah, all in all these games are perfect. And now I understand fully how the plan works. Hopefully you guys understand too. Just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, exactly what you guys want me to react to or go over, because I love watching basketball. That's one of the sports. I play baseball and basketball and football in my life, but I feel like the only sport for me that's enjoyable to watch in and out from start to finish is basketball. Point blank period. It's continuing action. It's continuing everything. It's just everything I want in a game, and I can't wait until they come out with a new tournament in the regular season to make it even more competitive. So if you guys like this video, make sure you like it. If you don't like it, I don't want any fake love. We only here for growth. We're back into the flow state, guys, so make sure you come back again. Tune in, like, comment, subscribe, and we out of here. Peace.